Hello, I'm Josie Wells and welcome to this Combat Mission Final Blitzkrieg After Action Report. This is the scenario Breaking the Line, played against the AI. I am playing as the Americans, where I am taking command of C Company of the 242nd Infantry Regiment of the 42nd Division, who are tasked with clearing the eastern portion of the town of Hatten from German units which have been infiltrating the area since 7 AM. There are two occupy objectives on the map, the nearest one being the intersection and the further one being the edge of town objective. Each are worth 50 points. 150 points are awarded for destroying the enemy. The German forces are situated at the east end of the town. Their force composition is a bit vague. However, in the briefing, A and B companies from my battalion have been engaged by German infantry, tanks and assault guns. My force consists of a single rifle company consisting of 4 platoons. First platoon is situated centre left, second platoon is situated in the rear, third platoon centre right. Fourth platoon is a weapons platoon consisting of 2 medium machine guns and 1 heavy machine gun, with a second heavy machine gun assigned to the company as a whole. The terrain is the eastern end of the town of Hatten. It is relatively flat and primarily consists of a suburban environment. Observation on the right flank is fairly good over a relatively open area. Similarly, the left flank also oversees a relatively open area. Observation in the centre is most restrictive due to the placement of the buildings. However, from certain buildings, good observation down the streets can be gained. As the terrain is a pretty built-up area, there is plenty of cover and concealment. Apart from the 2 open areas on the left and right flanks, there are no features on the map that will be obstacles to the infantry. I have identified 3 pieces of key terrain fairly close to my start position, 2 of which I already occupy. I'm not looking too far ahead at the moment due to the close nature of urban fighting. KT1 is already occupied by my troops. I've identified this as key terrain because it gives good observation along the street to the east. KT2 is a little ahead of my deployed position and is an obvious early position to occupy, as it gives good observation along the street to the northeast. KT3 is already occupied by one of my machine gun teams. This position allows a wide field of fire on the right flank across the open ground. However, I'll be paying special attention to the 3 buildings on the opposite side of the intersection objective. As this is a meeting engagement, I'm not expecting the Germans to sit still and anticipate their main avenue of approach to be fairly central. Similarly, I plan to stay away from the open ground and push forward in the centre, first to the intersection objective and then on to the edge of town objective. The time is 08:30. I have no off-map support. I have no mortars whatsoever. The conditions are light snow, freezing, there's patchy snow on the ground and there is no wind.
And I have 15 minutes to secure the objectives.
With machine guns covering, 3rd platoon move to secure KT2. Contact is made. German infantry opposite the intersection objective, spotted by the machine guns. Third platoon also take contact from the left. The situation escalates rapidly. team from first squad moved on to the intersection objective. Their occupation is short-lived. With 3rd Platoon engaged from the front and left, 1st Platoon moves to the left flank to take some of the pressure off. Casualties mount. On both sides. With 1st and 3rd Platoon fully engaged and still little progress being made, 2nd Platoon pull back and push out onto the far left flank.
Strategic Update 1, 08:36 hours, 6 minutes into battle.
3rd Platoon have made contact to their front and left. 1st Platoon have manoeuvred to the left of 3rd Platoon to help engage, but little progress is being made. And 2nd Platoon have moved out on the far left to engage the enemy on the left flank. 2 deployed machine guns are providing suppressive fire into the buildings opposite the intersection objective. It seems to me that machine guns are the key to victory in this scenario. I need to establish fire superiority from a given location, first with a rifle squad, and then move a machine gun into that position to take over fire support. I can then move the squad on. It takes over 2 minutes to deploy a machine gun in a building, and this represents the moving around of furniture to give enough space and to provide a platform to properly deploy on. So I cannot lead with machine guns, as they would get chewed up before they would get deployed. On the left, fire superiority is achieved. And the Germans start to be pushed back. This allows 1st Platoon to push further left. And with a similar situation developing in the centre, a second attempt is made to occupy the intersection objective. Third Platoon's 3rd Squad continue past the objectives to secure the opposite buildings, but it's a reach too far. The squad is decimated, although the objective is taken. With the left flank quietened, 2nd Platoon leave their fire support positions to join the general push. However, this turns out to be a big mistake as the Germans reoccupy their old positions whilst the platoons are manoeuvring.
Smoke is tossed into the street to provide concealment. This allows 2nd Platoon to fall back to their support positions where they try to re-establish fire superiority. Strategic Update 2, 0841 hours, 11 minutes into battle. 3rd Platoon have the intersection objective, but any move beyond this point is being resisted. 1st Platoon have been struggling to maintain their positions on the left, and 2nd Platoon have moved back to their support positions after the disastrous decision to leave them. The plans for the machine guns haven't gone as well as hoped. They are proving hard to move with the ebb and flow of the rifle squads, and so have been unable to provide the support required. With less than 4 minutes on the clock, it may be wiser to hold on to what I've got rather than push towards the edge of town objective. I don't think I can afford the casualties, however, the scenario could give me an additional 15 minutes to play with. 3rd Platoon hold the centre, but lose their platoon leader. As the smoke lifts, 1st Platoon re-engage the Germans on the left. Pushing forwards is proving impossible. No sooner are German troops routed out of their positions than fresh troops reoccupy those positions within minutes. Some troops are starting to break. And casualties continue to mount. With no let up in German resistance and one objective in the bag, I decide to count my losses and call a ceasefire. And achieve a tactical victory. I have 122 men OK with 35 casualties, and the Germans have 118 men OK with 40 casualties. I have secured the intersection objective but failed to secure the edge of town objective. The Germans get 0 points for occupied objectives. It looks like one of them was the church, which was in my end of the map. And points for casualties were more or less the same. I got 30, the Germans got 26. Looking at the map, you can see the disposition of mine and the AI's forces. There's still a lot of enemy infantry left in the centre and on the left. And I think that the decision to ceasefire was correct in that an attempt to push on to the edge of town objective would have just led to mass casualties on my side, and I probably wouldn't have come away with the result that I have done. This was a really enjoyable, short, small battle that escalated extremely quickly and didn't allow a lot of time to develop good fighting positions. So what I've taken away from this scenario is the importance of the requirement to get machine guns set up as quickly as possible in an urban environment whilst trying to deal with a very fluid situation. If you like what you've seen, Feel free to like, comment, subscribe. I'm Josie Wales. War is hell. Thanks for watching.